Good evening, everyone. Guys, it's almost 6:10 Eastern Standard Time here, the FFR land time on RPG Limit Break. We are in it's not really the finals, but it is the fourth week of Group Two's race for the Duck Derby. On screen right now, we have Sisyphus, Sunflash Rune, you got Dusk Plume, and Automatic Habit. Those are our top four of Group 4, so that's why we have them on stream. And if you'll notice, next to their pronouns, it tells you what place they're in, which is the one next to Sisyphus, and then the number in the brackets next to it is how many points they are behind first place. So Dusk Plume in second, behind by 6 points, and then so forth and so on. You guys can read. I'm Gregory Puff. I'm hanging out with Dead Pulse this evening. Dead Pulse, how you doing today?
Oh my, I'm so excited to be back on RPG Limit Break for the penultimate race in the Duck Derby. This is going to determine, just like you said, who the final two are. In this race, we're going to be making it to the finals, and then we'll be planning that soon after that.
Yeah, so exactly what he said. I mean, right now, we already know who the top two from Group 1 is, because they raced on Tuesday at 9:30. They both tied, believe it or not. Both tied 91 points each. And that was Phoenix 29, who is in chat right now, Phoenix FF29, giving us the hype, and Bujimon, both tying first, getting those top two slots. The people that win in Group 4, it could be one of these guys on stream. It could be somebody off stream. There's 4 other runners off stream. We don't know. But once we find out who those two are, they will take on the other two that I just mentioned, and basically a final showdown race sometime next week to be determined. What are we doing today? Like, what are these flags all about?
Oh my goodness. So, let me get my notes back up. So we have a little bit of loose. We have 2 loose in here. So that's a thing. We also have trapped chests, and the loose items are going to be in said trapped chests, but there's 66 total trapped chests, and once we get going, you'll see they kind of have an X on them. What happens is there is a group of mobs in there. If you defeat them, you get the contents of the box, and out of those 66, there are 2 loose items, 2 loose key items somewhere. But all of those trap chests are going to have great gear, so you could find, a couple of ribbons in there. You could find your Mass Immune, or you could also find a nice sword. Some people like it, some people don't. But that's kind of the major thing going on with this.
Yeah, it's basically the gear you're going to get is like flame. It's going to be like flame and ice gear up. So anything that's around that general area, that kind of gear. And then better than that. And then as far as weapons are concerned, I want to say the crappiest weapon you'll get out of one of those is like maybe the Wear Sword. So it'll be like Wear Rune, Coral Sword, like those kind of things, and better. And then, yeah, like you said, 66 chests, so 2 of those will be loose. The other 64 are going to have basically all this elite gear in it. With the 2 loose, with the way the flags are designed, are you bringing Fighter, Thief, Black Bolt? What are you thinking here?
Oh my. I mean, my gut is telling me that Fighter is probably going to be the right call here. Seeing the Thief Blursing of -10 to lockpicking brings it down to 8. That might not be a bad play. And then, of course, the Black Mages with the, I think that was Black Wizard spells that I saw. Yeah, I'm taking a pair of those.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. So the Black Mage has White Wizard spells. He basically, once promotion happens, the Black Mage can learn every spell in the game. The Fighter, of course, you're opening so many boxes, you're going to get the gear you need, you're going to get the levels that you need. And we have Spike Tiles turned off, so you can't do a static grind with this party, which is kind of why everyone's bringing a Fighter along. And then, of course, the Thief Blessing today is the -10 level lockpicking. So normally it was set to 18. You had to be level 18 before you didn't need the key anymore. But it's down to level 8, which is a much easier level to attain. And since we have loose items anyway, there's 20 incentive items total. 2 loose means there's about, a 5% chance that the key could potentially be loose. And so, you're at that point now where, if that key does happen to be loose, heck, you got a thief in your party and you don't need the king.
Another thing I forgot to mention, Gregory Puff, is that deads gain XP, meaning that if you have a character, even if they're dead, they're still going to gain experience, unlike the original game. So you see 3 of the people on screen have taken nuns, because nuns don't gain XP. So they're going to be funneling that experience into those 3 characters. And I love that we have 4 different parties on stream.
Yeah,
I just love it.
I'm a little baffled by the red mage picks on the screens because the black mage learns all the white wizard spells. But we'll see how it plays out for those particular runners. I mean, heck, 3 of them are running red mages, so they got to know something. I don't know.
Now, there's something with these flags that MDEF can't be understated. Because if you have your 2 loose early, you're not going to be opening all the boxes. You're probably only going to get a ribbon. Maybe not even a ribbon. So having magic defense is going to be really helpful during chaos, or during the Temple of Fiends.
Yep. So here we go right now. Obviously, first thing we're going to do is check town. We got Zap. It looks like an Ice 2 and a Lit 2. Zap is a time elemental AoE that does instant death. It doesn't have great accuracy, but early enemies are very susceptible to time. Well, every enemy in the game or not weak to, but does not resist time, but it just depends on their MDEF, and obviously these earlier enemies are going to have lower MDEF, so Zap, not a horrible thing to pick up. Ice 2 and Lit 2, of course, your damage dealing AoEs here, and then I didn't see white magic at all. Did you catch it?
There was Exfer and Fear.
So nothing. Imp's coming out with Squint. Put that thief down real quick, and Fire 2. That's just some rude imps.
Yeah, we're not ready. Dustbloom is not ready to get rid of that thief yet, so we just reset.
Yeah, the funny part about this is I feel like imps with a script of some kind is kind of like the rite of passage for FFR. Like, you got to at least run one seed in the world where, like, imps have nuke or blizzard or something just nasty. The good part about that, though, is you really don't see imps anywhere else. The bad part is that these imps could potentially be in one of those spike chests, and that would be really annoying. And there's our first spike chest right there. We got lobsters. Hey, we got Lit 2. Maybe we can make something happen here and get, like, to level 8 already.
Oh, those lobsters are pinchy. I hope we get turn order here.
We got turn order. It looks like
Dustbloom did.
So yeah, there we go, level 5 right off that first battle. And the thing was, like, right inside, there's your coral sword. So that's kind of one of the weaker things you're going to pick up out of these chests. But that's pretty
coral
awesome.
Sword +4. Oh my goodness, that's end game caliber, and that's one of the weakest you're going to find.
Yep. Dustbloom doing the right move, saving before going back in, because you never know if you're going to see another pack. Here's some spiders. Everybody gets a little antsy when spiders start coming out, especially when they start throwing lit everywhere. That can be kind of scary. See what happens here.
Lit, dark touch. What else can we have?
Yeah, so as you notice, there's check marks on the boxes, so you actually know what boxes are going to have, those spike, or that are going to be spiked. And there's a pro ring, so that's going to help us with these squinting imps here. It's at a certain point in the game, I imagine these runners will stop focusing on non-trapped boxes and only start picking up trap boxes. A, for the EXP, and B, because obviously you're going to get all the good gear out of those boxes.
So we have a couple of different divergences here. Sisyphus has decided to fill up his inventory. So with, I know it was weapons. I don't know if it was armor as well. So you'll notice you'll be able to see what's in chests. If your inventory is full before you take a fight. And then Automotive Habits decided, you know what, we're taking one thing at Imps. We have a free ship, so we're going to head over and check out Provoca. King and Sarah giving the Crown and the Canal, and I believe Bicky gave the Adamant, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I totally missed that Automotive Habit was even down in Provoca. I was too busy checking out Duskplume's run. But we got Sunflash in Provoca, gonna take on the pirates here. Duskplume getting some gear before heading out of there. Got some dead pirates happening on the screen. Something's happening on Sisyphus' side because ghouls were giving him the business.
So there's a kind of an interesting thing, and I've been hesitating to talk about it until after this race, to just see how everybody to let them form their own opinions on what they should be doing with trap chests. So some people have been filling up their inventory, and some people have not. Both strategies are fine, but you need to understand what happens when you do one or the other. For example, you fill up your inventory, you're going to be taking less of them. Now, it sounds like dead Pauls, we're going to be taking less of the battles, but that means your experience is going to be lower. So you need to take fights in other places that you normally wouldn't to make up that experience. Otherwise, you're going to be ready to go into Temple of Fiends at level 16, and it's going to destroy you. On the converse side, if you don't fill up your inventory and you're taking these fights, you need to take less fights because you're either going to be over leveled, which is just going to take extra amount of time, or if you already have the gear from those chests, let's say you find 3 ribbons because of this, Gregory Pup. You got to realize, all right, I have good gear, I can take less fights.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the kind of the way I view these flags, at least for me when I'm playing, is that the boxes are going to give better experience than 90% of the. I wouldn't say 90%. That's kind of overstating a little bit. I'd say about 70% of the battles you're going to take in most dungeons outside of places like Sea Shrine and Sky. So for me personally, I would much rather not take any battles, run away from everything, and open only spike chests after a certain amount of time, just so I can take those extra levels there, and get levels through boxes. Because not only are you getting levels through boxes, but you're getting levels and you're getting all that good gear as well. Now, Sunflash Rune, in kind of a pickle here, got some Frosties. Didn't grab the Fire 2 that was in whatever city that was. Canaria, and so only has Ice 2 and Ice 3 to take on these Frosties. Now, they don't typically roll that high, and Ice 3 does pretty okay damage, but not when they resist. Not when they resist, as you can see.
Yeah, that's not great. We may have to come back a little bit later for that.
Yeah, we'll check out level 3. One thing I will say, and I noticed this from running a race before, don't forget about these boxes. Because we are looking at items, and the second Frosties, the second you forget that these Frosties are a thing is the second the loot or something very important is in one of those boxes. Now the way these flags are designed, there's really only 2 potential dud items, and that's the tail and the ruby, and that's only if you find the floater beforehand. So
yeah, you could also make the argument that the key could be dud because if you brought a thief.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're pretty much once you bring a fighter party in this, you're pretty much resigned to I need to find both the loose.
So Dust Plume checking out magic. It didn't look great. There's our ruby, very expensive. Now,
did we just look at the same level 3 white magic?
I missed it. No, I saw level
Cure 4 in slot 1, life in slot 4.
I know. I must have missed that. I was too busy staring at level 2 black magic or level 3 black magic, which I of course. And there's Fade at level 4, so that's a way to take down something. Yeah. Luckily, you know what? For these people that brought red mages, luckily these spells, these white magic spells, are actually rolling in red mage land.
Yeah.
Again, you've got that black mage that's like a total, basically a sage.
Well, I mean, you have, even with if you have the Black Mage, you've got Ice 3 at level 2, you've got Zap at level 1, you've got Bane and Brack at level 4. You're sitting pretty fine.
Yeah. So here we go. Here, Ice 3 coming out. Astos has pretty good MDef, but Ice 3 should take him down pretty easily. Another good experience battle here. Get Sunflash Rune to level 8. Does he not have a thief, or No, yeah, he ran a 3-man part without the thief. So
Yep.
at this point, he could potentially be checking these locked boxes. He's heading that way. Did he get the key?
No.
Okay. Very confused. So
So let's see what's going
we're
on. So where did we get the slab? Was that literally just Astos, or did he have the chime?
no, Astor said the chime. The slab must have been the adamant turn in.
Ah, yes.
So we're really kind of running out of spots to go. I mean, granted, that ruby's like ridiculously overpriced, expensive. We could potentially, grind the money to get that ruby, and then of course we have Crescent, or we do have key locked Canary, and it looks like Autumn Out of Habit has the levels. Does not have the levels.
One
Not
level
quite
off.
there. All right, so yeah, Zap not really doing anything.
Yeah, but we know, Gregory Puff, that the progression is not going to be behind key lock unless key is available.
Yeah.
So we're looking, there's a couple of places because we don't have our canoe and we don't have our floater. So, but we do have the canal, so we can get out of the inner sea. Dust Plume finding a ribbon in that frosty chest. What a great comeback for that.
Yeah, Sisyphus knew that was there because of the inventory move, which is why he tried to take them down, but then eventually walked away from that. But yeah, it does look like the adamant turns to the slab here. Man, sorry, I was too busy looking at the ribbon thing. Dust Plume and Autumn can check these boxes now. We got a spike box in here. Dust Plume gonna check the other boxes first, probably just to see what's in here. Obviously for that ruby money. And then let's see what's in this box up here. Worms, it looks like, on Autumn Out of Habit side. Whoa.
Yeah, those are delicious if we can kill them, but oh my goodness, they have a lot of health. They hit hard. I don't know if we're going to be able to take them down at level 8.
Yeah, I mean,
we're going to try -2 out of, I'm sorry, we got a sun -2 out of Dust Plume's side.
Yeah, that was the scums that he took down, or they took down, sorry. There, Autumn Out of Habit going to pick up these boxes. She's probably going to get out of here and not try to kill those worms.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We got ambushed last time, so if we can get a decent turn order here, we might be able to take one of them down. I mean, they have a lot of health. As you can see, Ice 3 in a swing doesn't work. We ambushed them, so this is about our best case scenario. If we can't kill them on this turn, then we are not going to be able to kill them.
Yeah. So on Sunflash Rune's side, we do have him and Crescent. So, back rows that red mage. Yeah, there's no way this is going to happen. Luckily, we know because they don't have the key that this isn't progression. So, it's not going to hold her up. Like, she's going to get progression somewhere else. She just has to remember to come back and try to take those worms out. Now, I might have gone back in there and tried to get the all that money and then pick up that ruby, but Sunflash Rune out of Crescent Lake gets the canoe, which doesn't open up anything but Ordeal. I mean, it opens up places, but Ordeals is the only incentive item area that it opens up.
That's true, but we do have Volcano has a lot of chests in it. This is the terrifying part, Gregory Puff, because once you get the canoe, a lot of places open, and the fear is that floater is going to be loose. So Sunflash Rune right now is thinking, okay, if the floater's loose, let's go to the place with the most chests. That's going to be Volcano. That's a good play. The other play would be to go to Ordeals, because we know there's going to be an incentive item there. We also know that there's going to be an incentive item at Sarda behind the ruby. We just don't know if we need the ruby yet to get to Sarda, because the floater could be somewhere else.
Autumn Out of Habit getting her ribbon out of here, and we'll more than likely get the Sun Sword as well. See, the only okay, so while I like play, I respect the play of filling up your inventory every single time that you see something and you want it, you gotta go into your menu, You gotta release something. You gotta do all the rigmarole to pick up the item when you could just not do that. Because you're gonna need the levels anyway.
You know,
So,
Greg Litoff, rigmarole was the word of the day.
oh my God, thank you. I was watching today, so clearly it was the R was the letter. So, but Sunflash Rune, our runner right now in Volcano. It looks like Sisyphus hang out in Marsh Cave. That is a bold play right there. Like, Marsh Cave is like one of those, like, that is a outside of the box play that can really work out if it works out.
Yeah, I mean, I like the play because right now Sisyphus is in first place by a ridiculous margin. And I don't mean that as in uncatchable, but basically, for Sisyphus to not make the finals, he would have to place probably 8th or 9th. And of course, Dust Plume, Sunflash Rune, or Automata Habit would have to place probably 1st and 2nd. But if, oh my, but if there's a loose item inside of Marsh Cave, no one else is probably going to go there. Sisyphus is just going to run away with this one.
Yeah. Duskplume doing a play out of your just. I know your heart's got to swell at least 3 times when you see somebody go to Ordeals. But Duskplume there in Ordeals. Splash Rune taking down this Cobra Scorpion combo here in Volcano. Let's see what's behind it. A Dragon Armor. That's pretty good. Now, does Sisyphus have full weapons as well? Because I noticed that he had to take that out. Well, then at that point, this blizzardy worm battle here in Marsh Cave could potentially be a loose item. I don't think he has weapons, though, but I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what's here. Aegis Shield. That's kind of good. that's in-game gear. Aegis Shield, Dragon Armor. How you feeling about that?
Oh, that's great for the fighter. So Sunflash Rune looting this place, but not picking those big fights. I think we're gonna loot it all, get out, and then come back for the fight. So I kind of like that.
Yeah.
What is happening? So I saw Automatic Habit checking level 5 magic. I saw Warp with slot 2. And Dust Plume still in Ordeals. We've taken a couple of the delicious Medusa fights, and now we're taking this mummy fight.
Yeah. This right now, dealing with these undead, not really. I mean, outside of Zap doesn't, and the Lit, I guess, doesn't really have a good answer for the undead, and still wants to keep kind of everything together to try to take these worms down again. But worms have Blizzard. That's a little scary.
That's very scary. This is the risk versus reward for taking a 3-man party when you only have 1 caster. If you don't get if you get Ice 3 as your main spell and you have to take on a bunch of undead, it's just terrible.
Yeah. Dusk Plume back in Ordeals.
Was that a wipe? I missed that. Oh my!
It must have been a wipe because, and then they also must not have saved in front of Ordeals because they definitely went back and were like in the river system. And here comes more Blizzard coming out, just wrecking Sisyphus. I need to see his inventory. I need to see if he has weapons or not, because if he has his weapons fully stocked as well, then we know 100% for certain that is one of the loose items there in Marsh Cave.
Well, I believe Sisyphus does, because that's how he got the coral sword out of the first chest.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dark Moon, our restreamer. Thank you very much for pointing out it was a wipe with heat mummies.
Yeah, so this here,
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, this here is bad. Luckily, the loose item right now doesn't hold progression that we know of. Because we know we've got the canoe, which will lead to other places to go to. We know Ordeals is still here, and we haven't seen what the what Ordeals holds yet. So Ordeals has the floater, then potentially something like the key or the loot is down there, or like the cube or Coxiel or something like that isn't quite important right now, but is more than likely going to be important later on. Now that's good information for Sisyphus, obviously. But we'll see how that plays out as the game keeps going. And there's an ice sword there from Sunflash Rune.
Oh yeah, ice +1, coral +4 on the thief. Things are looking pretty good. Oh, Dustin found the Vorpal +4.
That's kind of good
If
as
we
well.
can promote, that's going to be very nice. And looks like, unless the Sahags and red Sahags have anything nasty, we're going to see what this incentive item is. Is it going to be the floater, or are we going to Womp Womp?
It's the tail. Is this game even randomized? Now, in my opinion, with all these parties, no items of Womp Womp except for potentially the key, except for, obviously, Sunflash Rune needs the key because he didn't bring a thief. But, once we get in the air, tail going to be required. Getting that promotion is going to be pretty mandatory, I think.
So Greg, let's take an inventory on what we got here. So we don't have any incentive items to turn in besides buying the ruby and talking to Sarda.
That's correct.
If Sarda does not lead to the floater, that floater is loose and it's more than likely in Marsh Cave.
Box right here that Sisyphus is trying to get turn order on.
Yeah.
He knows. He knows. This is, man, that is a huge play. I cannot get over how big of a play that was. Now, does Sisyphus not have a ribbon?
No, I think
we're doing ridiculous damage.
Well, I think Sisyphus didn't actually get the ribbon from Dwarf Cave.
Okay. All right, so Dusk Plume, I assume, has the ruby. Yep. Thinks Traka is going to go on ahead and let us know if this, if this loose item that we see here in Marsh Cave is the floater or some sort of progression that could potentially lead to the floater.
Yeah, because I can't tell you how anxious I am, Gregory Puff, at this, because this is going to define the entire rest of the seed. If this doesn't turn into the floater, then, oh my goodness.
Yeah, the only other thing that we could really hope for here for these other runners is that the second loose is also canoe-based. It's the floater and loose in Ice Cave or loose in Volcano, because there are no other places we can go to besides, the top half of Earth right now. Because we don't have Northern Docks turned on. So we can't go to places like, we can't go to Mirage with the chime. And there we go.
Yep,
right,
there was. He showed him the heal staff. -2 was in that chest. So, oh my.
Yeah. So that a little bit of time getting saved there. With that, heal stick. It's not very exciting. I wouldn't get excited about the heal stick. I mean, no. I would be excited to sell it for money.
Oh, I'm always excited. Someone found a power staff too. That's
oh my gosh! Yeah, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 money. That's a vanilla thing, if you remember. Oh my gosh, there's huge spike chests down here.
I do remember that, Gregory Pop.
Come on, Dust Plume. Now, the thing is, okay, so Sisyphus going to Marsh early might have been a detriment, because by the time these other runners make it to Marsh, if Marsh does hold that, the big deal progression item, these guys are going to have a lot more experience, more levels, more spells, and they may be able to take down those blizzard worms. I saw a katana +4 come out of here.
You are correct.
That's huge.
So everything so far in this seed has pointed towards taking a fighter and a thief. Now here's my concern for Sisyphus. If so we are 99% sure that that's a key item up top Marsh. If that turns out to be the actual key, because it could, which then turns into the floater, that is the worst case scenario for Sisyphus.
Oh,
because anyone who took a thief is already in the air.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it would be the absolute worst case scenario for Sunflash Rune to have to deal with that just to get the key to get the floater. And because he doesn't have the key.
Why?
Right, so here we go. We're finally getting here to Sarda on Dusk Plume's side. And we're gonna see what we're getting out of here, because This defines the run. That's the crystal, okay? It's going to make us wait a little bit. The anticipation killing
Oh
me,
my goodness.
as Frankfurter would say.
I saw a C word and I didn't know it because it could have been the cube. It could have been, countless other things. But Autumn Habit now going into ordeals, gonna snag her tail and maybe the Vorpal. What do we got? Sunflash Rune is level 13 across the board. That's pretty good. And we bought the Ruby, so we're gonna go over and check out that as well. Now, Gregory Puff, let me ask you a question. After I say Sisyphus found a lock chest in the bottom of Marsh, gold +3, very nice.
Yeah.
Let's say you're either Sunflash Rune or Dustplume, you check Sarda, you get the crystal. Do you pop into Earth 1 and maybe check those 3?
That's a good play. I was just about to say, the only thing that would stop me from diving deeper into Earth is, quite frankly, I don't think we have warp or exit right now, because I want to say I saw exit, and it was in the vanilla slot, level 6 slot 2, which is not where you want to see exit by any stretch of the imagination. Of course, unless you have one of your black mages, because they have white wizard spells.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen warp, so
Warp was level 5, and that is learnable. It was in slot 2, so it's learnable by the black mage.
Okay. So if we're what, level 12, 13, yeah, I'd probably hop in. Clear those 3 floors. Looking, for, again, it's kind of like that cheeky play of am I going to get that loose item that nobody else would think to get? There are, frankly, a lot more chests in the top half of Earth Cave than there are in Marsh Cave. I think it's 16 versus 10. So, I mean, I wouldn't frown on it, especially if you're in the area. Now, Duskbloom finding these worms in a much better position than Autumn Out of Habit was way earlier. But man, these worms are beefy.
Yeah, they ate 2 fades and ice 3 and still didn't care.
Now, the good thing is that Duskbloom's in a much better position, like I said. So, should be able to take this battle out, and it's going to get lots of experience. And we're going to find out if the key is that loose item, ipso facto, as we've been talking about before, because that key could potentially be in Marsh Cave that could lead to the floater. So let's see what this item is going to be. It's the cube.
Oh.
Okay, so again, that kind of lets us know, all right, that's probably not the key in Marsh Cave.
That is something that I have mixed feelings about. Now that we have the chime in the cube, once we get the floater, that puts all of Sky and Mirage's, 50-some chests on the table for could be a loose.
Yeah.
That just adds a lot.
Crystal turn in happening. TNT, come on, Dave! What are you doing to me? My heart can't handle this.
Oh my. But at least Duskplume, we're level 14. Sunflash Rune, following in their footsteps, we are going to go turn in this crystal. We're going to go turn in the TNT. Autumn Out of Habit finding a delicious Medusa encounter. All the Medusas have gaze. That's not great, but we're high enough level to have fade, so, we really don't care.
Bridge boss on Duskplume's side here. Sisyphus doing some key lock checks. I like this play. No, at least, no matter where you feel Sisyphus is, spending all that time in Marsh Cave, trying to clear it, trying to take down that worm. Oh my gosh, there it is. The Ruby leads to the floater. So that loose item that's down in Marsh Cave that Sisyphus still knows about. And it's going to be required at this point, unless, of course, it's the key, because we've already seen the tail and the Ruby. So
this swings back into Sisyphus's favor, exactly like you're saying, because Sisyphus knows, at this point, where do you go if you're Duskplume? You're getting the floater. There's still too loose out there. Where do you go? You go to Sky.
Yes, you have the chime and the cube. You go to Sky. You could potentially say, well, let me get the last known key items, which of course are the slab turn in and waterfall. But yeah, once you do that, Sky's your big dungeon that's available right now. And Sunflash Rune never finished out Volcano, never went to Ice Cave, so we don't know what's happening in Volcano, what what the rest of Volcano entails. But you're going to these places that have tons of chests, right? And Marsh Cave, in my opinion, in my humbled Spring Tournament 2021 Championship opinion, is the last place I'm going if I'm in the air.
I will, I'm going to counter that. It's not the last place I'm going to go, and I'm going to tell you why. So let's say that I'm level 16. I've cleared out 2 dungeons. I'm looking for that loose item somewhere. Instead of clearing out like Sea Shrine in its entirety, I will absolutely like fly over to Marsh Cave and spend a minute in there checking those chests. Because worst case, I lose a minute. Best case, I don't lose 7 minutes from checking every chest in C and not finding anything.
Duskplume is fighting an Ankylo that looks like Bahamut. What is happening over here on Duskplume's side? Bahamut is making you fight him now? Are we going to see Giga Flare?
Well, I don't think Giga Flare is in this version, but
there we go. Look at this. Look at these weapons. Katana +4, Vorpal +4. Like this is serious stuff. And we know that once Sunflash Rune gets in the air, which he just got his floater, is going to have the Aegis Shield and the Dragon. That's going to be kind of huge. That's pretty big. And Sunflash Rune getting the thing. We're going to finally find out what is in this box. Hopefully.
Oh my goodness.
Because we got the best case scenario. I think it was only 1 worm. So, as long as the snorting doesn't do anything, we should be okay. What do we get out of this? Please don't be the key. Oh, it's the rod. Oh
my goodness, it's the rod.
Okay, that's, oh my God. It's like, I think that's the second to worst thing for these other runners to see.
Oh my God.
The loot would have been the worst by far. Because then you're clearing everything, but
the rod is still pretty bad because Greg,
that's what I'm saying.
When you're down to just Earth, you're down to just Earth and Marsh, you go to Earth.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm saying it is the second to worst thing aside from the loot. Is these guys are going to clear pretty much the entire game before they find that rod down there, and we already knew this Marsh was going to be required because we'd already seen the ruby and the tail. But, oh man, this is not good for these other runners. And Sisyphus finally making it through this battle. And even though Sisyphus, like I said, key item-wise behind, levels behind, way ahead. Way ahead.
Yeah. So the only thing that's going to round this back into the other runner's favor is if the other loose is Oxyale and it's locked behind Rod. That is the only thing that can save them.
Yeah. I could see that, and you're absolutely right, because then at that point, that's a Sea Shrine you're not clearing before you finally get there.
Correct.
So, J-Man and Chess Jerk were part of that group 1. J-Man was actually our 3rd place runner, just behind Phoenix and Bujaman. So talking about Tuesday's seed, I guess I completely missed it because it's a little late for me. I go to bed early. I'm an old man.
7 p.m. time for bed.
Yeah. Well, when you have to wake up at 6:15 and you snooze until 6:30, it's pretty bad.
Oh yeah. But, if you missed it, quick, Gregory Puff Dustplume, we're clearing out. We find the key up in Waterfall. We also got a ribbon. We got some opal armor +4. We're promoted, so that's our second ribbon. We have a ridiculous amount of armor. We're feeling pretty good at this point.
Yeah, we're definitely at the point now where I'm you're hoping at this point to start filling up that inventory so that you can, check these spike boxes to let me know, oh, is that something I need or whatever. So on Sunflash Rune side here, we got an Iron Golem. Is that in Waterfall? I'm assuming this is in Waterfall, right? Oh no, that's in Cardia. Second katana. Yeah. The only person on stream that cannot use a katana. But anyway, yeah. So Duskplume getting the key out of Waterfall, which is obviously we're not happy about that because Thief lockpicking at level 8. kind of
Yeah.
negate the key situation. Now, granted, the only person on stream that's going to be happy about that key being there is, of course, Sunflash Rune, because they need the key in order to beat the game.
Well, they really should be happy about. They don't think it right now, but they're gonna be happy that that key wasn't loose.
Yeah, and Shumbabi in chat, one of our, like, I would say veteran runners, but has been around a little bit less time than me, doing like just really awesome runner, pointing out something you've talked about when you're talking about spike chest rolls, is like running away from one iron golem and taking it again, hoping for two iron golem. What do you think
Yeah,
about
if you
this
find a
kind of
great encounter, like if you find where you're going to get 3 eyes, but you only get 2 eyes or whatever, you can manipulate it by running away as long as it's runnable, and trying to get the max number on there. It takes a little bit of time, but it's really worth it when you only you spend 10 seconds and you can get an extra 6,000 experience across the board.
Mm-hmm. Past level 6. Sorry.
So, Sisyphus with the rod in hand, we're gonna go get the canoe. So now this is where it gets interesting, because if the floater is locked behind the rod or it's in earth, then Sisyphus is going to know that everyone had to go to marsh to be able to get the floater. However, if it's in ordeals, he knows he's got a huge advantage. Like right now, he doesn't think that he's in the lead, or if he does, he is the biggest brain play I've ever seen.
If I found a loose item in Marsh Cave that was required, I would think I was in the lead.
Well, but we spent 20 minutes digging it out, though.
That is true.
Keep that in mind. So we're 10 levels behind everyone. We have not cleared out ordeals. We haven't. Like we're 30 minutes ahead in thinking and 15 minutes behind in execution.
Yeah. So right now, I'm hoping he doesn't have to buy the ruby. We know this is going to be the cube. We know he's going to have to take down a big group of just beefy worms that clearly, took some protein shakes before hopping into this chest here. Did not skip leg day, or what would you call this? Body day.
There's a term. There's a good term, and it's slipping my mind.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
But we'll get that. But Mudgoals have cremate and crack, and Sunflash Rune is just getting the business from them.
Yeah. Well, Sunflash Rune's going to be very happy once they get through this place and gets their key, because then at least at that point he won't feel silly for not bringing a thief along. So, but yeah, these mud golems are not messing around. Sunfast. There you go. Protein shake. Hey, what's going on with Gaia? Oh my God, temper level 8. First off, why is there desert tiles in Gaia? What is happening?
Oh, we get the loot. We get the loot out of the bottle. So
where did we find the bottle? I missed that. Was that the slab to herb to bottle? Is
yes,
that was? Okay.
So, like I said, we are missing the oxyale. So we know that the two loose are the rod and the oxyale. So now the question is, where is the oxyale? If it is in any other place besides the 8 chests behind rod, I guarantee you, everyone on stream, Sans Sisyphus is going to clear out that whole place. That takes like 7.5 minutes, Gregory Pup.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. The only thing is that some of these runners may have that same kind of big brain play, like Duskplume, already in the southern continent, kind of near Marsh Cave. Over here, going to probably hop in the volcano. That's the safe play. I like this play. All the chests are on the way to the fiend. The fiend is, the second fiend, so she's not as tough as a Tiamat or well, we can't get the Kraken, but you know what I mean. Not quite as tough as Tiamat, and it's a shorter dungeon overall. So I do like coming here first. Now, once they are out of here, they could potentially fly over Marsh Cave. No, it's Marsh Cave. Maybe I'll hop in there and see what's going on, and then of course that would be, the right move move to make based on what we know here. Now we'll see if that ends up working, if that ends up happening. But right now, it's just kind of what we're hoping for these other runners is to just do kind of that marsh flyby and go, you know what? Maybe I should check this out.
I haven't been to Marsh Cave in a while. Let's take a day trip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Marsh Cave
Sisyphus found to get the cube out of behind those worms. That was a battle and a half, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. So Sisyphus, doing this whole thing, gonna have to, because we haven't. Has he done the adamant? Oh, I thought you were saying hi to the Hooray Dwarf. Did the Hooray Dwarf have like a completely different line? Or am I just losing my mind? Was that a different dwarf?
Yes, it was. It was a different dwarf.
Okay. What? But yeah, so it's gonna be a while before Sisyphus, grabs that ruby and then finally completes the crystal to the TNT to the floater. It's gonna feel pretty bad 40 minutes in, but again, that rod's gonna make it feel a little bit better.
Yeah, Duckplume finding a opal bracelet. I don't know if Sunflash Rune found that as well. I was not paying attention.
Sunflash Rune found what? I'm sorry.
There was an opal +1 bracelet that was in right where Duckplume is leaving right now.
Yeah, Sunflash did.
Right chest.
Yeah, Sunflash took down some Agamas for it. So Sunflash cleared this whole floor, got the Opal +1, got the Dragon Armor -2, and the Aegis Shield neutral. I don't think that he checked the chest that was right above where the Aegis and the Dragon Armor were, but I'll have to see once that battle loads up. But right now, oh my gosh, over on Sunflash Rune side, look at that huge battle there. That is a lot of experience.
Goodness.
And we got Ice 3, which should be able to take this down.
You need to Ice 3 a lot harder.
Yeah, come on, Ice 3. Oh no, those waters rolled really low. So here was my thing. When I was creating these flags, when I crafted these flags, I wanted to make sure that we wouldn't get into any crazy roadblocks with these battles. So I actually set the enemy scaling a little bit lower. So you may notice that enemies are going to be typically weaker than they normally would be. Now I say that those worms had like 1 billion HP, but that particular battle was pretty friendly.
Yeah, they always have 1 billion HP though. So
yeah. I mean, I think in vanilla they have like around 500 HP, so even 50%. Yeah. All right, so we got worms. We know these worms are not worms. These are wyverns. These are fine. Wyverns are fine. It's the worms we're a little scared of. Oh, Classic Gamer 76 letting us know worms in the original game, the big purple worms have 440 HP in vanilla.
Which is essentially 10,000.
Yeah.
when you run into those worms the first time and you're level 17, swinging your silver sword, like things are not going well for you.
Worms, not worms. How is this not clear? How is it not clear? So yeah, Duskplume finished up, warped out. Out of the armory area. He's going to keep going down. Level 18, by the way. So Duskplume has level.
That's nice.
Yeah, that is really, really good. And Sunflash Rune going to get the cube out of here if he can take down these worms. Of course, they targeted one of the back row mages. So hopefully, they'll keep targeting that fighter, which they did. So everything's good. Sisyphus finally looks like gonna begrudgingly pick up the coffee, which is gonna be our ruby, which we know leads to the floater. But it's gotta have to have figured this out by now.
Yeah.
The only thing, because I mean, you could bank that the floater's also loose in Ice Cave or Volcano, but you got a guaranteed key item behind the ruby, so you may as well check that out.
Yeah. Oh, there's such a battle going on in Sunflash Rune. Come on, 14 hit points.
No!
Oh my goodness. We got it. Level 19 across the board. We get the cube. Let's see. On Dustplume side, we got a mage staff and an ice shield. That's pretty nice. Ice shield plus 1.
Yeah, look at all this gear. Like, this is, I don't know. This is like a fighter slash ninja's heaven. And now you'll see. So Dustplume feeling good, not checking, like hops into rooms, looks for check marks, and then if there are no check marks on the chest, not even bother opening them, because why are we opening chests anymore?
Yeah.
Like, we know
so
that. Sorry.
Look at that, Greggly Puff. We got turn order. We had 4 heirs that were guarding that chest, and it's like, oh, we don't know if we're going to take that out. I mean, yeah, it was only a pro ring, but that was a lot of experience. Like a lot.
Yeah, that was pretty juicy. Now, Sunflash Rune going to Ordeals. We know that Ordeals will lead to the tail, which, again, will be good for his party, but not really what we need right now. We really need to find either, obviously, go to Marsh Cave and get that rod, or we need to find that other loose. And we know that that other loose is going to be the Oxiel. And I think it's going to be straight up the Oxiel, right? There's no other turn-ins left?
Correct.
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
All right, so Duskplume pointing out why Volcano was like kind of the like. There's no right and wrong way to play the game, but this is kind of the right play when you're talking about how quick the dungeon is. I mean, Duskplume couldn't have entered the dungeon no more than 5 minutes ago. Is already full cleared all 32 chests and is about to go into a carry battle. But unfortunately, we got automatic habit. Well, not unfortunately, we don't know what's here, but we know it's not the rod. But this is a big dungeon that is going to take a long time to clear.
Yeah, and with the 66 trapped chests, and there's roughly 240 in the game, so we know that about 1 in every 4 chests are going to be trapped. So that's kind of what I do when I think about it. In Volcano, you have 36, 38 chests or whatever. So you're going to get 9 to 10 probably chances for good gear. Dustbloom taking out Carry with a fade that 310, almost a max roll.
I was just about to say, I don't think I've seen a fade roll that high in probably 5 seeds. Like, how do you get a 310 roll fade? Come on. Automatic Habit had to, I don't know if that was a reset, or I assume she saw whatever was in that box, didn't want it, and just reset out of it. It's a little bit quicker to just go back through. Duskplume in Ice Cave now should be pretty quick with warp and exit, or unless they didn't get exit, then it should still be pretty quick with warp. See here, I mean, the only other not cheesy, but like, kind of trolly thing that could happen here is, of course, the loose item is here in Ice Cave.
Oh my goodness. That would be literally the worst. Literally the worst. You go to Ice before you go to Marsh, and you get the Oxiel, then you decide, let's go take out clear out C. Oh my goodness.
All right, so Sisyphus actually giving some time up to the runners right now, because A, they got to get through a worm, and B, gonna clear Earth Cave because he has the rod, and we know that whatever he just got from Sarda is going to lead to the floater. So unless, of course, like what you said, the Oxiel is just randomly in here, this is going to give a little bit of time to these other runners to figure out where the rod is.
Yeah, and Greggly Puff, hold on to your seat. But in the vanilla floater chest, we found a Mass Immune +1.
Oh my, that's huge for Duskplume.
Yeah. That is an advantage. You need to use that advantage. I mean, if we didn't already have, the Katana +4, the Vorpal +4, the Coral +4, the Rune +3 now. We got a Mass Immune to go along with that. Oh yes, and thank you, Chest Jerk. We also found a White Shirt +5. I don't think anyone can use that.
Yeah, no white mages here.
You can use it, but you can't use it.
Yeah, no white mages here for obvious reason, because the black mage rolled white wizard spells, so no one was bringing a white mage. Even the people that brought red mages, which I'm still baffled by, but no one's bringing a white mage here. Let's see here. Now, I'm interested to see what's in the rest of ice. I'm actually really interested to see where this Oxyale is. Like, that is where, like, I'm not going to be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Like, the anticipation's killing me to find out where this Oxyale is. Where is going to be the best thing for these runners to do to get caught up to Sisyphus?
Oh my goodness, it's got to be, like I said, if Sisyphus finds the Oxyale in here, like, it has to be behind Rod, though, because if you, like, let's say that you are, a runner, you find Oxyale, your first loose on, you don't have the rod, and you find that on Earth 3, what are you doing? You're exiting out and going to sea.
Oh, here we go. We got a spike box here. Okay, we know that's not going to be what we need, but we are going to go on ahead and take the battle for the opal. Apex Corvid pointing out that metal slimes have hurt more. I had completely missed the battle that the metal slimes had anything on, but that sounds scary. They probably just hit hard. These jerks. All right, so Dust.
Well, yeah, Ice Cave not having the mass immune Gregory Puff, but not that item.
So it was lit 3. Yeah, that's that's way scarier than a normal metal slime for sure. Uh-oh. Here it goes. Now we're in Sky, right behind Automatic Habit. And Automatic Habit hasn't found really anything in Sky, and we're getting pretty close to finishing this out, which is starting to scare me because now we're talking about the both loose items being in these two places we don't want them to be, and Sisyphus being in that place we don't want it to be. You know what I mean? Like, we've got a volcano cleared, we have an ice cave cleared, we have basically all key locks, all cardias, waterfall cleared. So the Oxio could potentially be here. And if the Oxio this is like so far ahead, we can't even handle life. Because everybody else is in Sky doing Sky things. XCal +4.
Ooh. Why is everything +4? Did I miss like a National 4 Day or something?
Ooh, and eyes. Doing eye things. And Shumabi. I think XCal wasn't good enough. Not only is it really good here because of the +25 on the weapon bonus type damage, it's the second best sword in the game. The only thing that stinks about it is just not got a great crit rate, but neither does any of the weapons in the game outside of the Warple and the Katana.
So I was checking my notes, and all of a sudden I see the Oxyale lit up on Automotive Habits. I think we found the Oxyale in Sky 3.
Okay, yeah, because I missed it, but yeah, obviously she's got it lit up. So again, it's like, how good is that for anybody? Sisyphus, it's not good for him because obviously.
Oh no, it's great. It's great for Sisyphus because once Sisyphus finds that Oxyale, that is one more dungeon that he doesn't need to clear. And what would you rather, like, what's a bigger time loss, clearing out Earth or clearing out sea?
Yeah, and people are gonna go Kraken side first, then eventually go back in and try to do Mermaid side because there's so many more chests on that side. Again, it's got to be one of those things where you're doing a pass by. The only thing I'll say that's good for these runners is the fact that they can pop into rooms, and when they don't see an X, they can just leave. So they're not like opening all the boxes. They're at least know that what they need isn't in a particular room. But man, doing this star room, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's just so bad.
Absolutely the worst. But Automotive Habit braving the Bridge of Destiny, we are taking on Tiamat. So we have been going Gregory Puff for 53 minutes. We only have one. And Brack first turn takes out Tiamat to light the second orb on stream. First one for Automotive Habit.
Yeah. So Automotive Habit. Sorry, go on ahead.
And I just see the Oxyale has been unlit. Is that? Did I miss something?
I guess we must have missed something because it's definitely not lit. Which again goes down to Sisyphus here. Is the Oxiel here? Or what have we not seen? Have we seen? I know somebody was in Topherlock earlier and got a wizard staff, but did they check the rest of Topherlock?
Yes, I believe Toverlock has been checked.
Lock Chest and Marsh were already checked by Sisyphus, because Sisyphus went to Marsh Cave like really early.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what happens here on Dustplume's side and see if we find the Oxiel. Otherwise, Sisyphus, if this is the Oxiel here, this is like, again, it's like great news for Sisyphus, but then it's good news for everybody else because they don't have to clear sea to try to find the rod that we know is in Marsh Cave. But that would be crazy. Like, what are the odds? This has got to be it here, right? Does Dustplume have full weapons?
No, I do remember that this is the Bane chest or the Bane sword as well as an opal armor.
Yep, Sisyphus found it.
Sisyphus found it. It is, oh my goodness, Gregory Puff, it is an Earth 4. This is terrible for... This is both good and terrible for Sisyphus. Because Sisyphus now is going to have every key item, knows that he doesn't have to check any other chests if he doesn't want to. However, now nobody has to go to sea.
Yep.
There it is.
So this is good for the other runners. Believe it or not, I know we've been kind of like all over the place on what is good and what's not good. This is actually really good for the other runners because everyone else, specifically Duskplume, has done everything but Marsh Cave. Duskplume has done everything. So once we're done in Sky here, Duskplume knows at this point, oh, it's got to be Marsh Cave. And then we'll do Marsh Cave, get the rod, oh, it's got to be Earth Cave. And then we'll get caught up real quick. Anne has a massive gear advantage.
Yeah.
Like a redonkulous gear advantage.
So because of this, when we were talking about earlier, if you take your Wayback Machine, people out there in RPG Limit Break, you take your Wayback Machine, go back 25 minutes to when we were saying Sisyphus has a 15 to 20 minute lead. That lead is now down to maybe a couple of minutes. And it depends if Sisyphus decides to just steamroll the rest of the seed and not check anything and hoping for an easy Topher to maintain that lead. But as it stands right now, Sisyphus does not have the tail, so he would have to go to Ordeals to get that tail to promote. We do have Fast. We know that Temper is level 8. This is anyone's game right now. It looks like Dustplume is charging into trying to take the lead of this. Autumn Out of Habit just right on their tail. Sunflash still just has to do Ordeals and... I think that's it.
Yeah, I think Ordeals is left unless our track. Nope. No, he has the tail. So we just need to light up the tail there. Thank you. and yeah, so Sunflash Rune kind of doing what everybody else has done. Gonna do Volcano, gonna do these big dungeons first, and then eventually gonna have to make their his way down to Marsh Cave as well. Sisyphus in the air. I am no floater. We're down here. Do you think he forgot he had the crystal to turn in to get the TNT to get the floater? Or do you think it was just kind of like, I may as well just knock Ordeals out because it's easier to go to Ordeals without the floater?
I would like to contend that everyone should be excited to go to Ordeals and go there at the earliest possible convenience. Dustplume, however, lighting up the air orbs, 2 orbs for Dustplume. Sisyphus had lit up the Earth orb, so we are at 4 orbs lit on stream out of the 16.
All right, Dustplume. Let's see what Dustplume decides to do. This is like where it matters the most here. What is Dustplume gonna do? Because they are the only person on stream right now that knows that it's a 50-50 between going to Marsh Cave or going to a rodless Earth to look for the rod. because at this point, it's either, in their mind, it's either the Oxyale to the Rod or vice versa. We know it's the Rod to the Oxyale, which is a way better situation, because that'll be way quicker to figure out. And here we go. We know this is it, and this is where Duskbloom catches up big time.
Yeah. Now, another thing to note, put yourself in this position, Gregory Puff.
Mm-hmm.
You're in Duskbloom's position. It is 1 hour in. You have not found any loose items. You're finding the rod at this point.
Mm-hmm.
How hard do you put the gas on, and do you take any fights, open any chests?
I am. Yeah, I mean, the gas is going. I'm not picking up anything I don't need. And if my inventory's full, I'm not picking up anything until the next, box fight immediately happens. Like if I see anything in a trap chest that isn't a ribbon, I am not messing in my inventory. I am moving along. Now, Duskbloom's in this weird situation where you're in a dungeon, and this is FFR we're playing here. We have to finish clearing Marsh Cave because you gotta do it. Like you never know. The Oxyale could just be on bottom Marsh because that's FFR in a nutshell. Now we know, granted, it's not. It's even worse than that. It's Rod blocking the Oxyale. But yeah, Duskbloom, they gotta keep it moving through here. Luckily, it's just check the room, see if there's spikes, see if there's a check mark on it, take the battle. If you initiate a battle, then it's what you need. If it tells you, hey, this is X, Y, and Z in the box, you don't have to take the battle. And blink and you miss it. An automatic habit also has 2 orbs lit. And we got a little bit of a race between Duskbloom and Automatic Habit, who is also in the same position, I think.
Now, I don't think Automatic Habit did Waterfall.
Ooh, yeah, no key in her inventory, so yeah, she's gonna have to go to Waterfall. And we know the key's there, which is gonna be like oh. And here we go, Sisyphus finally turning the TNT. We know the TNT leads to the floater. Now, if you're an hour and 1 minute in, you have both loose items, but you also haven't gotten in the air yet. How do you feel?
I don't feel the greatest about it. I don't feel terrible because I realize, okay, it was the loose item was in Marsh. People have to go to that. It's going to take them an hour to do that. So I would not be feeling ahead, but I'm not going to be feeling behind either.
Yeah, so looking now at everything, what did we say? What did the bottle end up leading to?
The bottle was the loot.
Bottle was the loot. So Sunflash Rune has the bottle as well. So Sunflash Rune, take it on carry. Again, kind of in that same spot that Automatic Habit is in, except a little bit further ahead. Hasn't done an Ice Cave yet, but has a 50-50. It's basically Ice Cave or Marsh Cave. Or Sky, of course, because, hasn't been to Sky yet. This is crazy. This is a lot going on here. I kind of miss calling these 2 loose flag sets because it's definitely exciting to watch these runners do different things, making big gambles that end up paying out, but then watching the other runners get caught up. And here we go, Duskbloom in Earth Cave. We know it's going to take a while to get there, but we know Duskbloom is only an Earth 4 away from finding the Oxyale and being in go mode.
Duskbloom is going to... There's 2 options here, Gregory Puff. Either take the gamble that it's on Earth 4 or clear out this entire place. And Duskbloom is going to be clearing out the entire place, which is great for Sisyphus.
Yeah, but Duskbloom's in a way better situation in the fact that they don't have to even remotely take boxes they don't want to take. If they take a battle and it's something like a gold +3, yeah, Duskbloom does not need a gold +3 right now. Duskbloom does not need, an opal shield or any of that stuff. They have way more gear. The only thing I see Duskbloom stopping for is a ribbon.
I think we have 2, maybe 3 ribbons already.
Yeah, so So Sunflash Rune in Mirage, which is where I figured he would go. Automatic Havoc getting the key, realizing that's not what he needs. So again, we're just down to either Ice Cap. Ew, there it is. Marsh Cave. I was like, come on, like when you're on commentary and you're in these, you're like trying to will them.
Yes. Will them to go to the right place.
Go to the place that I want you to go to.
This was a really rude scene so far. Like, we haven't even gotten to the Temple of Fiends yet, but oh my, like, loose in Marsh that leads to other loose. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, so this has been an exciting run. And yeah, like what you said, the item placement is not very nice. Like, I haven't seen a seed this rude since the 2020 spring tournament play-in race, where the key was loose on Kraken's side and the cube was loose in TFC on Mermaid's side. And that's about as rude as you'll see a seed do.
Oh my goodness.
So of course everybody finds the key, and then it opens up other stuff. And I think it was like something dumb was in Mermaids, because Mermaids was also incentivized. So you like went to Mermaids, you got the incentivized thing, you did Kraken side, you got the key, and then you were like, what are the odds that the one locked box in the entire dungeon is the second loose item or third loose item or whatever it was? And yeah, as you can see, the people in chat pointing out that they were there for that race. It was a race. It was a full clear simulator that Lord Fizzlebeef, one of our admins, won. He was the winner of that race, was able to full clear the game faster than anybody else. And here we go. Automatic Habit, I think, got the rod. Obviously, I'm looking at the tracker and definitely has the rod.
Yep.
Dusk making their way down. Knows only one floor away, and Sisyphus gotta go.
But Sisyphus is now up to level 20. So we turned in the slab to get our herb. We have our tail. That herb is going to turn into the bottle, which is going to turn into the loot.
Yep.
Sisyphus has a thief, so we don't even need the key. We don't need to go to Waterfall.
Yep. Yeah, so at that point, being able to skip Waterfall, it's like maybe a minute and a half time save, but minute and a half in Final Fantasy Randomizer is the difference between, it's definitely the difference between first and second for sure. And Sisyphus while Sisyphus is in first place, needs to not lose too many places, if that makes any sense. Like, any of these runners on stream, any of these runners gets first place, it's just, it's all up to the next runner. If Sisyphus gets like second, third, fourth, then Sisyphus could easily start getting knocked out of that first place position that he's worked on this entire run, which he has done amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
Absolutely.
2 first place finishes in weeks 1 and 2. 6th place, which was kind of the outlier for him, but has been a great runner. And just all these runners on stream. I mean, Automatic Habit really knew the community was helping out a little bit with the tracking and stuff. But man, she has come a long way since even week 1. Like, you can go back to week 1 and see how far she's come. And Sunflash Rune and Dusk Plume were in the last Duck Derby, and obviously showing just the experience that they've learned from that Duck Derby.
Oh yeah, watching exactly what you said. Watching that Duck Derby to watching this one, it's great to just see how Duskplume and Sunflash Rune have evolved, and their decision-making process has improved, and just becoming the force of runner that's going to be a problem for people in the bigger tournaments like spring tournament coming up. But Automatic Habit putting in a lot of practice, and it's definitely showing how much she has improved week by week, but over the last 10 weeks that we've had. And of course, Sisyphus just has a command of execution, decision making, and style, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So all of these runners are great.
Yeah, I was going to say Sisyphus is kind of our this year's Papa Ducks, or this year's Dead Pulse, the person I'm talking to right now, or when Ganon's Gone Wild showed up in Spring Tournament 2020. No one knew who he was yet. He was somehow managed to make top 16, I think top 8 in 2020. So obviously, a command of just being able to execute the game and having a firm understanding of the game. But Dusk Plume got the Oxiel, just gonna go mode this, going straight for Kraken. And this shows, like, even if you have that knowledge up front, able, like, just being able to have a little bit more gear, a little bit more time under you, and then making your way, and then eventually finding that rod, able to catch up. Now, Sisyphus not far behind. Like, it looks like he's far behind, but he's not, because all we got to do is turn in that bottle to get the loot. Sisyphus will be in go mode, and then Sisyphus can go mode fire, sea, and air, as opposed to what Dusk Plume, Sunflash Rune, and Automatic Habit had to do, and basically full clear those dungeons. Now, granted, Sisyphus will miss out on a lot of items. He's going to miss out on that Dragon Armor, the Aegis Shield, the Massimian that Dusk Plume found, and so forth and so on. But yeah, Automatic Habit also in go mode right now, picking up that Oxiel, not too far behind Dusk Plume. What do you think here? What are we thinking as far as the Topher is going to be? Where are we going to be?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Dusk Plume is almost ready to head into Topher, but Automatic Habit maybe 2 minutes behind tops, and Sunflash Rune maybe another 2 minutes behind after that, because I'm pretty sure Sunflash Rune is going to go to Marsh after this. So we're kind of in that chain, and then it's Sisyphus, basically. How many chests is Sisyphus going to be checking, and how quickly can he get through those 3 dungeons? And then you were talking about points earlier. And this is kind of where it goes in. We're approaching the second part of the game, and that is, can we get through Temple of Fiends? If you take a look at the scores, Dusk Plume currently in second place with 63 points, 6 points behind Sisyphus, who's got 69. If Dusk Plume wins this race, Dusk Plume is in. There is no possibility that Dusk Plume is not in if they win this race. The same with Sisyphus. Now, if Sunflash Rune or Automatic Habit win, they still need a little bit of help to pull off going to the finals. But with Dusk Plume in the lead right now, it is their race to lose.
Yeah, so if we want to go on ahead and do the math, first place at 26 points is what it's going to be. Second place gets 23, right? So that kind of cuts your lead in half if Dusk Plume, wins, and Sisyphus gets second place. So Dusk Plume will still be in second place. Sisyphus will still be in first, but only by 3 points as opposed to the 6 points currently. The big thing is, of course, the third place where it gets knocked down, where it's 21. Now you're talking, like, if we have what we're seeing on stream right now, where Dusk Plume gets first place and, Automatic Habit or Sunflash Rune gets second place, the further back that Sisyphus gets, whether it be, third, fourth, fifth, so forth and so on, is where, he could potentially get knocked out. But he's in a good spot right now mathematically. Like, even at, I'm trying to think.
So 6th place. If he takes 6th place or better, he's guaranteed to be in.
Yes, basically.
And that's not a bad place to be.
Yeah. Like, so Sisyphus kind of shocking me at this point, even opening boxes. Must be looking for weapons that maybe he couldn't pick up because he was so focused on other things. Maybe I don't know. The Vorpal was in where was the Vorpal? The Vorpal was in Titans, right?
No, the Vorpal was in Ordeals.
Okay, so probably definitely got the Vorpal, definitely got the Katana then, which was in Titan. So I'm interested to see what Sisyphus is actually looking for.
If I believe Sisyphus is only level 20. So if you're going to be level 20 and go to Temple of Fierce, you need to have all 3 ribbons. Dead Pulse, we can get through without ribbons. Yes, you can get through without ribbons. But the goal, if you're in first place heading into this race, such as Sisyphus is you don't want to take the kind of chances that you're going to wipe in Topher repeatedly. All you need to do is finish 6th or better.
Yeah. Now, Sisyphus is in a unique situation where he can literally check the boxes, decide what he wants in them because of his inventory load. Like, his inventory is completely full, so he can see what's in the boxes before taking the battle and then get out of there. But I'm not really sure I'm picking up a Pro Cape, even if it's a +5 at this point. What do you think?
Pro Cape +5 is really nice.
Okay, so I'm wrong then.
Well, I mean, you're right. It's nice. The loot goblin in me wants to grab it. However, your black mage is level 22. It's got 239 health. If Kraken swings at that black mage, I don't think a Pro Cape +5 is going to save it.
Yeah, that extra 13 absorbs not doing much of anything here. And so, again, another thing, are we switching out a flame shield -2 for an opal neutral?
No, it's not enough.
Yeah, so again, not crapping all over the runs. I like the fact that we're opening up these boxes. We need the levels anyway, so we may as well take these battles, but it's just kind of things to think about coming back and watching this. And man, I have completely I was so focused on what Sisyphus was doing. I'm checking out Duskplume, and Duskplume's already on Kraken's war. We are, let's go. Let's go. And we're
doing it to it.
Yeah, and so we've got our first, and yeah, Cheesinator pointing out, kind of letting us know, hey, pay attention to the person that's in Topher, guys. What are you two talking about?
There wasn't, if there was something that was, desperate or exciting going on, but Carrie, I didn't see anything really scary. I didn't see anything really out of Lich. We're just, slapping hands with each other. So now but Gregory Puff, let's focus.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is going to decide who's going to go to the finals. We are in Temple of Fiends. 2 runners on stream in Temple of Fiends. Duskplume are 3 bosses away from going to the finals. Autumn Out of Habit trying to claw up to one of those top 2 spots. Let's see what Kraken has.
Yeah, and Cheesinator just letting us know he's just excited for some calamari. And everyone's excited for calamari. It's like the thing you order when you go to a place. You're like, what's the appetizer? Calamari, bring it. Come on, let's go. So, Duskplume, I'm assuming, has to take this battle, because I'm not sure why we're even bothering with this. Waters are going to give good EXP. Oh my god, level 26. That is huge. That's such good levels. Look at that fighter with the extra vitality. It's just so absurd. Why are we fighting these, though? Let's go. We gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta go. Unless we're trying to hit some sort of...
well, we're past the breakpoints. He's got a massive...
Yeah, we're past the breakpoints.
Yeah, sorry.
Breakpoint for that Xcal +4 is 25 on that fighter.
And Space Drake pointing out, yeah, we're taking this because we got ice 3s. This is fine. Kraken trying to do the old Kraken move where he... just trying to punch the fighter down. But the fighter says, nah, dude, I got Aegis Shield and Dragon -2. You ain't doing that stuff to me. And that is a dead Kraken very quickly.
Well, that fish monster literally hit that fighter for 51% of his health. That would have scared me.
Yeah. Yeah, because bad turn order could have been a dead fighter, and then what are you doing? You're hoping that katanas do things and you can bring your fighter back to life before, Kraken decides to kill your mages or whatever.
Let's see. So Fade rolling out, mid-roll. Oh my goodness.
Oh, but and Autumn Out of Habit also only 2 floors behind. She is right on Duskplume's heels. This is exciting. I can't handle the excitement.
That katana not doing anything against that Tiamat. 3 hits, 24 damage. 3 hits, 209. There we go. It hurt me. That Fade's coming out. Gonna do a mid-roll, 214. 5 hits, 338. Tiamat swings. 2 hits, 118 to the Thief. Nothing really. And Tiamat is down. Gregory Puff, I don't think we've seen anything bad. I am terrified for this chaos.
We have not seen a nuclear or nuke a Cure 4, a Slow 2, a Bane, a Zap, of anything. Like, this is...
Oh my goodness.
And Sisyphus,
Ooh.
I want to point out, 2 orbs lit, Sunflash Rune, and Ice Cave. Still needs to go to Marsh Cave. Still needs to go to Marsh Cave to get that rod, to get that Oxtail. So a little bit more time it's going to take. We've got 2 bosses. We've got a Chaos on Dusk Plume's side, and we've got a Kraken 2 on Autumn Out of Habit side. Bass is coming out. We got White Shirts coming out. That is going to race some evade here. And we got a Fog 2. You don't ever see people using Fog 2 to get that armor up, but you may as well. And there's that Nuclear we were talking about.
Oh,
A couple of mid rolls across the Red Mage and the Fighter, low rolls on the Thief and the Black Mage, which is really good, and doing ink. So that's at least a free turn. 4 hits, 2 something. That's going to do a thing. 10 hits, 319, so a lot of absorb here on this Chaos. We got to get some Tempers out there. We know Temper's level 8, so that's a dead Red Mage. Big ol' hit out of Chaos.
That was after 2 stacks of Invis.
And yeah, no level 8 Tempers, so... And I don't think anybody else picked up a Power Bonk, but I can't remember who picked up the Power Bonk, but it doesn't matter. We got Fast, we got Katana, we got a Massa +1 or -1, I can't remember which one, and we just gotta go, and that is a lot of evade and a lot of absorb out of Chaos. This is scary. 2 hits, 2 damage. 3 hits, 170. Oh no.
Oh, this is real bad. This is real bad.
3 hits, 105. More White Shirts. At least that can stop those huge hits out of Chaos. Didn't do anything there.
Keep punching, Chaos. Keep punching and missing.
Yeah, we got to get our Black Mage to do any... Oh, no! Poison! Oh. And that is a lot of dead people in the party. Do we have Cure 4 in the Fighter? Nuclear comes out! That is a... No! No!
Oh my goodness, we were maybe 1 or 2 rounds away from sealing up this race. And oh my goodness, we had double poison, we had Nuclear, oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then now we got Autumn Out of Habit, who does have the Power Bonk over on Sunflash Rune side, picked up the rod, is going to be able to get the Oxtail and move their way along. And Sisyphus still trying to get through some stuff to get the rest of his orbs lit. But let's focus on Autumn Out of Habit here in the bottom right-hand corner. 6 hits, 200 and something. We still got some Cure 4s coming out. That is an X-Cal we are swinging. That is not the Massa, because he did not go to Ice Cave. Now, I mean, X-Cal +4, Massa minus, it's all whatever. It's fine. 5 hits, was that 7 something?
Goodness. Oh, so we got turn order to get those Cure 4s off, but I'm not seeing that high of oh my goodness, so Chaos almost taking off that Thief again.
We got Power Bonk. That's the big difference here. Nuclear's going to come out, probably take out almost everybody. Good low rolls. 5 hits. That's with a couple of Power Bonks and Fast. Like, this is crazy how just beefy this Chaos is. Not playing around. 5 hits, 256. That is a dead Red Mage. Was that 2 hits for 406?
Oh my goodness. This is not going the way that we want. We've done a lot of damage. We got it.
15. Sorry, I got way too excited about that. I'm going to look at Racetime GG right now. I'm going to let you know who is in first place here. Oh my gosh, I can't even look at the thing because I don't want to spoil myself.
Yeah, that was Autumn Out of Habit taking first place on stream and first place overall. 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 5 seconds. GG is Autumn Out of Habit taking race 4. So now... let's see if we can get in, but let's talk about the scores really quick. So Autumn Out of Habit, only finisher right now. That puts her up at 84 points. That is 21 points ahead of Dusk Plume and 15 points ahead of Sisyphus.
So basically what that means, right, is that how many points was Sisyphus behind?
Sisyphus is 15 points behind.
Okay. So yeah, Sisyphus needs to do pretty poorly in order to still not get second place. and Duskbloom needs to get, obviously third place. But we do have Autumn Out of Habit in here, and holy GG's, you got to go back and watch that. It was insanity. I can't even handle it.
I believe it. I've been, since we're on the 10-minute delay, just watching and going through all of Topher and seeing no one finish ahead of me. When I hit when I hit 115 going into Topher, I thought, okay, someone's gonna done any second now, and I need first for any chance to move forward.
Now, the big thing that got you that win there was the power bonk. Now, we got 4 screens we're looking at here, so there's a lot going on. Where was the power bonk?
The power bonk was in Sharknado. I did the one greed check in Sharknado, and I was looking for either a power bonk or a defense sword. That was the only thing I was going to fight for.
And that is unbelievable, because that is literally the difference between your victory versus Duskbloom. Because the Duskbloom was I wouldn't say way ahead, like 2 Fiend 4s ahead. Obviously hit Chaos before you, but couldn't do the damage on Chaos because, of course, just how beefy that Chaos was, not only on the evade side, but the absorb side. Like, you had a fast, you had like 2 or 3 bonks out, and you were still only averaging about, between 250 and 400 damage with an X-Cal plus 4. So that...
I actually did not have a fast. Fast was not learnable by anyone in my party.
Oh yeah, because it did roll. It rolled so that only the black mage could use it. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say it was level 6 black mage luck. That was not ideal. Having 2 crit-based weapons and a power bonk basically just had a prayer against chaos.
Yeah, but the power bonk is still, like, even without fast, like, being able to add, 16 damage every single cast, it was huge, because fast is obviously going to double your attack, but that's all it's going to do at that point. Duskbloom back into Topher. Something wiped. I think they wiped to Badmen, but
no, we did a little bit of a grind, I believe.
Okay, that's what happened here. So, yeah, I have to ask you a question, because I was baffled by it. I'm actually baffled by a lot of things on this stream, because people brought red mages when the black mage had the white wizard spells.
That said white wizard spells? Ah!
Did it say white wizard spells? Now you're making me second guess it my entire life.
I thought it was black wizard spells. At least that's how I noted it down, was black wizard spells.
Okay, you might be right. Now I'm just like losing my mind here. I'm gonna go on ahead and pull it back up. Now I've been talking about this whole run about how, like, oh my god, you like, why would anybody bring a red mage? And I totally read the blessings wrong.
I would absolutely have taken the black mage in that case.
Oh yeah. Well, so Autumn Out of Habit, that was an amazing run. You came in first place. You needed to come in first place, but let's just talk about your Duck Derby so far. So you have taken your first race. You did 5th, then 3rd, then 4th, then 1st. That is an amazing performance. Regardless of what happens, I just want to give you a GG. You put up a heck of a series of races. You've come so far in the last 12 weeks. It's just unreal. Is there anything that you're thinking right now? Tell me your thoughts. How are you feeling?
I'm just looking at this and hoping someone manages to finish before Duskbloom, because I've done the math.
Because if Duskbloom finishes next, that's going to be he'll be 2 points ahead, or they'll be 2 points ahead.
Yeah, I honestly came into this derby with no expectations. I figured, why not? I just started playing this right around Thanksgiving. I like competing. I'll give it a try, see what I can do, and having a shot at the finals even just never crossed my mind.
Yeah, so I did go back and look at the and look at the seed, and I don't know, like, I clearly need glasses or like some sort of comprehension lessons or something. But yeah, it was black wizard spells, not white wizard spells. And Crabcake's in chat pointing out that that's not something that could have even rolled on the black mage anyway, because that would clearly make them OP. So I get the red mages now, and yeah, I mean that was a really good run, especially from somebody who didn't really have any expectations of how they were going to perform during this. I am very impressed with how you've come along. This particular derby. It does. I was going to say, as a new runner, does doing tracking and helping out in that regard, does that kind of help you get a little bit better at the game to see other people run things?
Oh, absolutely. Getting to watch people who are playing, but also getting a front row seat to listening to comms and actually like just paying that level of attention. There's a reason I've been tracking every Tuesday. Just trying to absorb all the knowledge I can from all the vets in the game.
I was going to say that Tuesday run clearly helped out a lot, because I think you probably heard it because you're on that 10-minute time delay. Deadpulse and I were just talking about just like how much you specifically have grown over the 4 races, like not any, like these 4 races. Watching you do your thing has been quite impressive. But I'm going to go on ahead and talk about what Dusk Plume is doing here, because they are taking on Chaos again. So let's see how this goes. So getting white shirts out there, we know that Chaos hit hard. Hits huge and hard. It's like, who was it, like 3 hits for 500? One hit.
I didn't know Chaos hits hard either. I guess I just had so much absorb on my night that I never noticed.
I saw Chaos like just outright murder one of Dusk Plume's people. But switching up, we got Fade, we got some hits going out. I'm assuming the Black Mage was dead before we got here?
The Black Mage was up going into the fight.
Okay.
I think Chaos just delivered a nice punch, which this Chaos being punchy actually really worked for me with how good of armor I found.
Yeah, I was going to talk about, I think you were one of the few people outside of Sunflash Rune who found that Masa being out of Ice Cave.
Did not find that. I never touched ice.
That was Dusk Plume. Sorry. Gosh, I got to pay attention to what's going on in the world. So anyway, we got Tier 4 coming out, white shirts coming out, trying to get all that evade out there. Make sure we keep our fighter and red mage in position. And luckily we got enough evades out there now that things aren't doing too crazy here. 3 hits for 313. More white shirts, just getting all that evade out there. Now Chaos, we know, has poison damage and nuclear. I think 2 nuclears, because it was nuclear, ink, poison, and nuclear, if I remember correctly. Might have been a thunder in there, I don't really remember. 4 hits, 71 damage. That is not good. And if you look on Sisyphus' side, already past Kraken 2, is taking on Tiamat. More big hits coming out. More Cure 4s, so a great defensive strategy here. Already saw what we were doing here. And so, just being able to adjust on that first Chaos, and then coming back in, knowing what to do, and then taking on Chaos with that information. This is great. So again, just kind of the same hits we saw before, but that 3 hits, 373, that is going to do it. And that is a second place finish here. 1 hour, 32:07. Autumn out of habit, you won by 10 minutes. That's kind of good.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought I was behind too, and then to take a commanding lead in the 4th race, I feel really good about how I played.
Yeah, so hopefully Dusk Plume, they'll join us here in chat. Broadcast waiting room. We'll pull them in and talk about the run. So one of the big things I do want to talk about, but first I want to watch this battle against Chaos. Chaos taking down the Black Mage. I mean, we got some power blocks coming out there. 4 hits, 206. That's not going to do it. Ink coming out after the nuclear, which we knew was going to happen. And we know it's either Thunder or Poison that's next on the skills list. 5 hits, no damage, but 3 hits, 157 from Chaos. It's a pretty big hit, but that is a dead ninja. We are man moding it, and that is not enough damage coming out of that X-Cal. 2 hits, 244 as a monster hit out of Chaos. Gonna cure 4 up, but Chaos gets turn order and huge hit. 340 takes down Sisyphus. Gonna have to run back in. I'm pulling Dust Plume in right now as we speak. Sunflash Rune gonna try to light up his 4th orb before going into Topher, and we are making we're getting a pretty awesome little race here between Sisyphus and Sunflash Rune. Dust Plume, GG, 2nd place. How you feeling?
2 questions. 1, why that encounter table? 2, why did nobody test Chaos for steroids?
We did, it's not part of the Chaos trials yet to do check out any doping, but hey, you took 2nd place in this race. That guarantees you a spot in the finals. So just GGs.
Thank you. I was really worried after I got to Chaos the first time and realized, I am doing absolutely nothing to him. And then I just did a couple things, wanted to get a few more levels so I could, got temper, so I could get some levels, get some tempers in case I need it for Chaos, and then Kraken killed the Black Mage, so I just had to kind of go through it again. Thankfully, I got Cure 4 on the night, and that was enough to get through it.
Yeah,
well, something that I did not mention before, but there was a little chuckle going on behind the scenes because you have placed 4th, 2nd, 3rd in the 3 races, and Out of Habit has placed 5th, 3rd, and 4th, literally 1 place behind you, and finally turns the tables on this one. So it was exciting to see. I don't want to take anything away from both of you. You did an excellent job with this race. Dustbloom, you had a little problem with Chaos just deciding to go nuts on you, but oh my goodness, what a fun 4 weeks this has been, just to watch.
Yeah, for sure. It's been really enjoyable, and I'm glad to be able to have one more race to come and see what comes of that.
Yeah, so I want to ask you a question. You're one of the old, outside of Sunflash and a couple other people, you were in last year's, or not last year's, last Duck Derby from the summertime. How do you feel you've come as far as how you did the 6 months ago versus where you are now, the flag differences? Like, how do you feel about how you've done?
I definitely feel like I understand the game more this time around. I'd watched a lot of Spring Tournament before getting into the Duck Derby the first time, and I felt like I had an all right handle of things, but there are some things I still didn't really understand, like maneuvering the encounter table to make it work for you. Not that I'm at it this time, but yeah, it's just being able to have that first experience, and then being able to be in another couple of tournaments after that, and then coming back to this again. It's been night and day. I feel so much better about everything that I'm doing, and I know that I still have a lot left to learn, but I feel like I'm in a much better position than I was the first time around.
Yeah, dude, I mean, like, as somebody who obviously ran the last Duck Derby, and called a lot of the races, got to see a lot of the races, and then of course to see you come through this particular time and do as well as you've done, I can tell you from watching that and personal experience that you did just wow. Like, I think, what did you come, like 13th, like 14th, 15th place, something like that last Duck Derby, and now you're looking really good going into the finals of the Duck Derby. I mean, this is really awesome to watch you grow as a runner. How much has it helped that you've done other tournaments outside of the Duck Derby?
Oh, it definitely helps. Just more repetitions of being able to play the game in general, aside from learning how different game modes work. It didn't apply this time around, but learning things like Deep Dungeon, getting an idea of doing things with loose chests, just having more of an understanding in general of how the game works and everything. It's nothing but help. It's beneficial.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dig in. Hold on, I'm gonna dig in real quick here. Just reporting. So Sisyphus made it to Kraken, but just before Carrie hit an Agama with Rub, took out the thief, and then Kraken took out the fighter, and we had to reset. Meanwhile, Sunflash Rune is on Kraken's floor, so we'll see if he fares any better. Back to you, Gregory Puff.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about item placement now. So, so let's talk about where the rod was and then where the Oxtail was. So, Duskbloom, you were actually the first. Well, Sisyphus was technically the first runner on stream to find the rod. Found it very early on with a cheeky early marsh dive. But how did you feel after doing all of what you did? You cleared pretty much the entire game outside of Top of Earth before finally heading into Marsh Cave and getting that rod. Where were you mentally at that point?
Considering that both Rod and Oxio were loose, considering that Rod was the first thing that I found there, which meant that Oxio pretty much had to be either in Earth or like some random one-off check that I hadn't made yet. I still felt pretty good, just because I felt like the only way that somebody could be ahead of me at that point was to have, say, skipped ice and gone to March 1st, which, I don't know, I feel like most people would go to ice if they're trying to find Rod and Oxyale. They're both loose. The play to me would seem to be to go to Volcano, check all the chests there, and then ice is right there, so you would go there next. It just, yeah, I still felt pretty good at that point.
Yeah, so
Funny you should
on
say
stream,
that.
yeah, I was going to get to you here in a sec, but automatic have it. But first thing, Sisyphus wiping out of Topher again, gonna go try to hunt down some gear at this point. Maybe another ribbon, maybe some pro rings, maybe just better gear in general. Hopping into Volcano right now. And Sunflash Rune making short work of Calamari here, so he's going to go on ahead and move on to Tia 2. Dustbloom, you did go to Ice Cave. You did get some pretty good gear out of there, that white shirt, and of course that Masamune. But Automatic Habit chose the 50-50 and went to Marsh outside of Ice. And yes, tell us what your thought process was there, Autumn.
I knew at this point I had to swing for the fences because I had to go for first. I figured that most people probably would dive ice, so my gamble was don't dive ice and hope it isn't there.
It paid off.
That's literally every time I race. I'm just going to go here, hope it's not somewhere else.
Yeah. But I think that and the power bonk were really what set it up for me today.
Yeah, the power bonk was the huge thing. Dustplume, you didn't have the power bonk. Yeah, that chaos. A little rude, huh?
Yeah, now I'm curious, where was that? Because I feel like I checked just about everywhere in the game.
Except you didn't.
I didn't do anything in C, was it in C?
Sharknado, greed chest right on the way to Kraken.
Oh my god, I
Only room
my
I was
head in there.
checking in go mode.
Yeah, I peeked my head in there and I saw 2 trap chests and I was just like, nah, I'm not gonna need anything in there. Whoops.
Now, Dustplume, you were level 26, 27 going into that. I think Autumn, you were pretty... Well, Autumn, it wouldn't matter so much for you, but what made you not go back to Gaia and pick up Temper at level 8? Just to get a couple extra Temper stacks there. You just were like, that's a lot to do. Because I probably wouldn't have done it either, to be perfectly honest.
Me or Autumn?
Oh, sorry, Dustplume. My bad.
Oh, I did after the second one.
You had Temper?
Yeah, after the first dive, I went and got it. I went and got Temper, and then I went and got Cure 4 on the night, and I grinded for a few levels on Topher level 3 before warping out. But my Black Mage died, so it didn't matter.
Ah. Just hate it when that happens.
Yep.
See,
Well,
my strat
Sunflash
Black Mage
Rune.
can't die if I don't take one.
Sunflash Rune is just about to engage Chaos. We're at the 1 hour and 43 minute mark. Sunflash Rune took a 3-man party of fighter, red mage, black mage. Sunflash does have the Masamune +1, which is currently equipped on the black mage. I think we put the Vorpal on the fighter, which is probably a really good idea for this. We'll see if these white shirts can do anything. We know that Chaos is punchy, is rude on every aspect. 221 damage to that black mage, only 97 health left. That's not going to be enough to survive really anything. Lock 2s, though. And yep, that black mage is down, but that's fine. We got some more Lock 2s coming out. Nuclear comes out mid-rolls. You know, not too bad. We still got 639 health on that fighter. We haven't done any damage to Chaos, though. So we've got to start dealing some damage here. Oh, the red mage goes down, gets crit, 1 hit, 229, and Chaos inks. 10 hits, 292 from that Vorpal +4. 10 hits, 594. Chaos misses. Chaos swings again and misses. Only 145 damage. This is not great, but I think we're going to win attrition here. Let's see. Thunder comes out, still over 500 hit points. 341 damage from that fighter. Poison rolls out, only 50. Oh my goodness. We're at about 1,000 damage so far on Chaos. 10 hits, 260. Still not enough. 1-on-1. And 355. Terminated. GG's Sunflash Rune. That is good enough for third place on stream, fourth place overall, official race time GG of 1 hour, 44 minutes, 25 seconds. Finishing ahead at third place, Hate the 13th at 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 51 seconds. Let's see some GGs for both Sunflash Rune and Hate the 13th.
Yeah, that was a really good chaos battle there. Just goes to show, like, sometimes, I think we talked about this before, right? We talked about what it's like when you find the first 2 loose items so early. And yeah, while we talked about how Sisyphus had like this huge advantage, I think that Dust Plume, Automatic Habit, Sunflash Rune had an advantage because they were able to check so many chests and have so much better gear, have so much better levels, and so forth and so on, whereas Sisyphus has kind of struggled here in Topher because he may have been lower level, may, obviously didn't have as good a gear as the other runners because he had found those 2 loose items so early on. So yeah, that's kind of the equalizer with these flags. What would you say to that?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Oh,
Yes.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
I was reading the chat because Sisyphus has had such a problem with the rub spell, just randomly just taking out his party. And it's not great. We're throwing stun. Carry is paralyzed, but you're absolutely right. The risk with this flag set is that if you find the loose items too early, like I'm pretty sure I said this somewhere in the Discord, if you find the loose items too early, you're less likely to check chests, which means you need to get more levels. And even then, if Topher is just going to be a monster like this is, and not all of Topher, like little cheeky things here, but that chaos was rude. If there's anything like that, anybody who has opened up, 50 of those trap tests and didn't find the key items right away is going to have a huge advantage. And we saw that play out here. Now, if Temple of Fiends were a little bit easier, we might have seen it gone a little bit differently.
Yeah, so Sisyphus making it through Kraken 2. It's been in Topher for a while now, just trying to get any sort of advantage that he could get through here. Good levels now. The fighter has 731 HP, which, again, we had the vitality bonus. So I'm assuming probably mid-20s, 24, 25, 26, somewhere in that general area. Just trying to get through this floor, hitting some worms, trying to get away from the undead pack there. And now we're on Tier 2. And, hopefully we can get Sunflash Rune in here to talk to us a little bit. So far not in broadcast waiting, so we have a dead ninja on stream. You hate to see that, especially since obviously we don't have life. So we're going into this chaos battle with a fighter, a black belt, and some dreams and hopes and all that stuff. And
the fighter has a decent amount of health, Gregory Puff, but man,
That is a punchy chaos, is all I'm saying. I mean, it only takes a couple of rounds of bad turn order, bad RNG for that fighter to go down pretty quickly. But here we go. We're going into this. Gonna look at some stuff, make sure we move some things around, get some power blocks where we need them. Yeah. Good stuff right there. We know we have a ribbon, but
We only have one ribbon, and
We only
that's
have the
currently
one
on the
ribbon.
Black Mage.
yeah. So putting the Black Mage up front, you're hoping they die. You've got good gear on that fighter. You have basically everything but a ribbon. And man, that Black Mage actually survives a punch to the face. And here we go. Nuclear is going to take him down before the lock can come out. And we are man-moding this already. 3 hits, a huge hit out of Chaos there. But that's a big hit back. 8 hits, 547. Another 8 hits for 547. What are we on? Like some kind of weird crit loop or something? 8 coming out. That's the best thing that Sisyphus can see right now. Thunder doing no damage because of the dragon armor. And that was a big hit for 907. Another not so big hit, and a big hit back from Chaos. Oh my gosh. We got a fighter on a knee, and that is a dead Chaos. 517. GG's to me, Sisyphus, in 6th place. 6th place. 1 hour, 49:07. That will secure me, Sisyphus, with 2nd place. Or no, sorry, with a tie.
First place.
Yeah. So Dusk Plume and me, Sisyphus, are going to go on ahead, and that's crazy. That's 2 ties for first from our 2 groups.
Yeah, that is. So how the tiebreakers work is that we have the first tiebreaker is the highest place that you have taken. And since Sisyphus has taken first place twice, and Dustplume unfortunately went 4th, 2nd, 3rd, and 2nd. So Sisyphus wins the tiebreaker and will be first seed going into the finals. But Dustplume taking 2nd, and Automative both at 86 points. I apologize. Automative Habit taking 3rd place with 84 points, and Sunflash Rune looking to take 4th place with 79 points. So GG's to all the runners. I think someone just joined us.
Yeah, it was me, Sisyphus. I pulled him in here. We'll talk about the run a little bit. So you found the first loose item way early, right? But is of course, the worms with the Y, and they had Blizzard. But you already knew it was going to be the loose item. So what was your thought process going into there? Your early levels, this is like obviously something no one else is going to find in Marsh Cave. How did that make you feel?
It was just great to know that, but it was so rough. I was being bounced by everything at the start of that. I mean, failed to get that Coral +4 sword out of Temple of Fiends, failed to get the ribbon out of Dwarves. But once I found everything, I was like, I just need the levels.
Yeah, so I want to tell you right now, I've been playing this game a long time, and I can feel your frustration through the screen. So I want you to know this right now, as somebody who's been here for, it's been over 3 years, that I have been in your position. I have been there where I'm desperately just trying to get the thing that I know is there, and the entire seed is just like, hey, you want the thing? Well, that's too bad. So I don't want you to get frustrated with FFR, even though it's a frustrating game, but it's almost a rite of passage to have these seeds happen to you. But I will say that watching you play through this, watching you get first place those first 2 races, and then of course getting 6th place this race and this race, heck, you still got a tie for first. You still are making it to the finals of this, and heck, you didn't even do last time's Duck Derby. So you're one of our newest runners here, and you tied for first out of this group. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
I'm just so happy that I was able to pull that off. I mean, it's great. And yeah, this seed was really rough on me, but It does not discourage me too much. It frustrates me, but the way I grew up playing this game was you squeak by at the lowest level possible. And also, if anyone ever died, I'd just reset. That's the way I like to play it, and I would class change by 14 generally in vanilla. It was so fun. But yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, like watching your run, like GG's to the big brain plays. Those are the kind of plays that would typically work out in any other normal seed. This seed was just being jerky, and you needed like basically everything the Dusk Plume and Autumn Out of Habit and Flashroom were able to find because they were hunting down that loose item. But like in 9 times out of 10 in a 2 loose seed, if you can find like that first loose right away, and you can open enough boxes to like get good enough gear, which you had good enough gear, it just was one of those things where what are you going to do when Chaos is such a jerk? I felt like you did really well, and obviously well deserving of that tie for first place. Deadpool, you got anything?
No, I think you kind of covered everything right there. I mean, you still put on a heck of a show. Everyone on stream did. And I really just wanted to say, specific GGs to you for taking first place in this Group 2, Dusk Plume for taking second place, and Autumn Out of Habit just starting off, 2 months ago, coming in third place. That's very impressive. Sunflash Rune finishing in fourth place. Everyone has just done such a great job. It was very fun to watch. It was exciting for me. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of the runners in both groups. And I really don't have any more questions. So unless you do, Gregory Puff, we can start wrapping this up.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to answer the concussed gamers question about why you would bring 3 players versus 4 players, but it looks like everybody else has kind of answered that question. Yeah, it's just funneling the EXP onto the runner, or to those 3 characters versus 4 characters. So, for instance, if you're running a 3-person party and you take as many battles as a 4-person party, you should technically have 25% more EXP on those 3 runners versus people that brought 4 people. Kind of why you would, and a lot of people did decide to do that. So, without further ado, let's go on ahead and move it on. For those that are that have made the top 4, which are Sisyphus, Dusk Plume, Phoenix 29, and Bujaman, which Bujaman I haven't seen in chat. Hopefully he's listening, and if he's not, we'll obviously ping you guys in the Discord and let you know what's going on. The easiest way to do this, I think, is to just set up like a group chat and like figure out a good way. But whatever, just
I think we'll set up a thread.
Yeah,
we'll set up a thread in the Winter Derby.
Yeah, just find the best time that you guys can race. It doesn't matter when. If you're like, we're gonna like go at like 3 a.m. on like a Tuesday, I won't be there, but 2 other people will be there to call a race or whatever. So find any time that you guys can run the race, and that will be your final. So without further ado, let's go on ahead and get some final thoughts here. I know I've kind of talked a lot. Sisyphus, you're in first place. You're going on to the finals. You're taking on Dusk Plume. You're taking on Phoenix 29. You're taking on Bujamano. You got any final thoughts going into the final race?
I'm just looking forward to it a lot. Everyone is so good in this one. I hope I get better luck this time.
All right. Dusk Plume, our second place finisher / going into the top 4. You were here 6 months ago. How you feeling going into the finals?
I'm feeling great. There really isn't any pressure this time around. I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm gonna hope to win. If I don't, no big deal. Thanks to you two for calling this race. Thanks to the trackers. Thanks to everybody who's watching out there. It's always a lot of fun to be able to do this in front of in front of a crowd who's interested and rooting for everybody. So there'll be one more week of that next week.
Nice. And I do have one more question for you, since you're the only person in the room that did last year's Duck Derby. How do you feel about the format that we switched to, where we force you to kind of do one big race versus like two different group races, and then a final from the top two group races? Like, what's your thoughts on that versus what we did last year or last 6 months?
I do like this better because it's going to allow more people to get involved, just because people are going to have different schedules. That's something that's unavoidable. So having 2 days and being able to split it up so that people are going to have a time to choose from that's going to work better for them just means more involvement. More involvement's good. That's the whole point of this.
Yes. Thank you so much. GG, Sisyphus, and Dustbloom, you guys are moving on to the finals. And Autumn Out of Habit, GG's. Like, I cannot stress enough how much you've improved over these last, 4 weeks? 5 weeks, 6 weeks since you joined the community. Any final thoughts coming out of this after all those 4 races? How do you feel?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, have to say I'm a little disappointed to not be making finals, but also I never even thought that was like in the realm of possibility. It's been really fun getting to actually grind out the game and get better, and as far as fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you so much for your final thoughts. GG's again to everybody on stream for doing the thing. Thank you, RPG Limit Break, for having us out here. Before I move on to Deadpool, Stu will give us his final thoughts. I just want to go on ahead and say that we have a bingo tournament going on. So it was a double anti-bingo. Your opponent will choose one of your columns or rows, and then you will choose your own, and then you'll race and whatever. And it's like a pretty standard tournament format. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please join our Discord. Go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. Click on the link that takes you to the community Discord, and then you can join that. That starts February 17th, which is like only a few weeks from now. And then, of course, spring tournament. We've got our spring tournament crew. They are cooking up flags and trying to figure out what they want to do, and that will more than likely start, well, sometime in spring. So let's just say, end of March. We'll go with that. So we got Dab tournament, which is the double anti-bingo. We've got spring tournament coming up after that. And then, of course, after that, we will have our next Duckling Derby. So if what you've seen has been super duper exciting, please join the Discord. Again, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. Click on the link for the community Discord. It will take you to where we are. You can ask questions. Everyone will answer. Literally anyone will answer. It is very rare that you ask a question and somebody doesn't immediately answer your question. Everybody you see in chat right now is very active, so you'll be able to chat with any of us, and we will let you know how to do the FFR experiment. And heck, if you're not even into randomizers, we'll tell you how to play the game and make an improved vanilla thing where EXP is better, and it's just the normal game that you've ever played, but EXP is better, and you can move quicker, and your boat goes faster, and everything's just a little bit better. So without further ado, I want to say Deal is rating with 103 people, and we are literally ending this broadcast. Deadpool, take us out.
So the last thing that I'm going to put out here, again, GG is to all the runners in the Duck Derby, not just this group, both of them. I always consider these tournaments to be fun to watch, and they're really just a snapshot in time. So congratulations to everybody who made the finals, but if you didn't make the finals, still give yourself a pat on the back. This has been a long 11-week process. I hope you had at least some fun in the entire thing, and just remember, you'll come back and get them next time. I want to thank behind the scenes, we got Dark Moon on the restream. We got Danny as well as JLo7 doing the tracking. Thank you very much. Thank you, RPG Limit Break, for having us on this race. Also, I'm going to give a shout out to Luffy DV. Luffy has been helping us out behind the scenes along with Dark Moon on putting all of this together. So if you run into them in the halls or anything, give them a pat on the back and say good job. But we will have more information in the Discord about the finals when those get scheduled. So this is going to be Gregory Puff and Dead Pulse signing off on Duck Derby Winter 2022. Good night, RPG Limit Break.